There's the next adventure, Al-Hallabat. So I will start walking up that hill. My driver is very patiently going to sit in the car for an hour or so. So I'm at the crest of the hill at, God, what are we at? Al-Hallabat. So the fortress is over there, and you can see that there's another ridge line all the way along. So the elevation here has given you the view that you can see any enemies coming from a fair distance. This one comes into a church space. You can see the arched windows, but these ones have a little bit different architecture, where these have the extra ridge line on those the window arch, and that lodestone is a little bit different. These pillars, how I was saying at that last site, they were very plain, so that would have indicated to them that they were a base pillar, where this one is more ornate at the top. So if we saw something that had that flaring along the top, you'd know that it came from the top of a pillar. New writing. Yeah. So somebody's come along and carved on the ancient rocks. Yeah. So what did they write? Anything interesting?
This right?
Yeah. What does it say?
What's the meaning?
Mm-hmm. Any rough words?
I can't understand it.
You can't understand that one? So we've come up to the main structure, and apparently it's a 3-story building, and it's made of sandstone, and the black stone that you can see there is the basalt from the site that we were just at Al-Jamil. Yeah. So coming through here, you can actually go into the archway and you can see the original lodestone just keeping all of that supported. And the manager has said that this space here is where the rope for the horse was tethered. So that's similar to the one that's up at Al Jaloon, where the horse was used to open the drawbridge. So coming in here, and there's some pretty ornate rocks. A different set of staircase, constructed differently compared to the one at the last site. And those lentils are just amazing, how they're just resting between those rocks.
6 meters.
6 metre deep. Is it the well? A well?
All water.
Is there just one well for the whole site?
Oh. Another water small.
A small one, okay. And is this an original piece of carving here on this stone?
Yes, this strong basalt.
The basalt.
From Amman.
Yeah, but this cross there, is that an original?
This old.
It's old?
Old.
So this is the second well, a smaller well, and it's in this courtyard that's got this mosaic floor, which is that geometric pattern in fairly good condition. The water has damaged it, yeah. And on the arches over there, there's some carvings. Looks like a face on one and a flower on the other. And on that third one over there is that cross similar to the one at the last site. That is just stunning. So the manager has said that this space was a kitchen, and the food would be produced and brought through this narrow doorway and served down in this big room over here, which he calls a salon. So a big open space for entertaining. So we've just walked into this room, and what the manager is saying that this stone here is almost like a a stone is the base that would have gone for a large arch, because on the other side in the same area is another basalt stand where the arch would have gone over the top. The other thing that's interesting on this wall is then you can see some plaster to the back, and it's got some grooves in it. And what he's indicating to me is this is what kept big sheets of marble in place. And the only example of that he can show me is down in this room next door, where there's the smallest piece of marble still remaining. So all the walls were just covered in marble. But of course that's gone now. And this is both sandstone and basalt. Completely different shaped lodestone over there. It's got that squarer texture to it, and it has the smaller holes where wood would have been put into it for the second floor. So what's happened is he's brought me into this space here, and he showed me this square area and this little bit of a channel going off to the side. And what he indicated was this is the space where fruit would be brought, apples or oranges or grapes, and they would be pressed and crushed, and then the juice would be drawn off here via this channel and collected. Once again, you can see on the wall where the plaster was, so this also must have had another covering on it, whether it was the marble or not, and he didn't say, but it looks as if that herringbone texture is to allow another surface to be pressed against it. Okay, so the manager has brought me to the highest part of the wall, and I'm just at the corner of one of the walls. And what he's indicated to me around this space is these areas just here. This one was an Islamic building, so it looks to have 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 rooms over there. And if we cast our eye across this landscape, probably a few hundred metres there, you can see these round areas of dirt. What he's saying to me is there are different size wells, about 5 or 6 different wells, both big and small. That large space over there where it has that reinforced wall, he says that that's where the water was collected, so that's kind of a reservoir type space. And in the front here are 3 or 4 different Roman and Islamic homes. And just on the outside of the wall here, he says this is a home as well. So this site is fairly extensive, looks to go on for about 1 kilometre on one side and about 2 kilometres on the other. That's just fantastic with this castle on the top of the hill. What a view, the distance is just amazing. So what the manager is saying to me is these are the plasters that were on those walls. So they were cast moulds and then they were put onto the wall. That is really ornate. That one looks like a hand holding something. These mosaics, he said, were in a room underneath. That one looks to have like an antelope or something with big horns. This one over here looks to have pheasants, 2 birds of some kind. Almost like a lion's foot on that one, but there's just this amazing symmetry. Maybe different types of fruit there with this one. Some of those plasters. That one in the centre there looks to have a dove holding onto a head. That looks pretty spooky. Mortar and pestle. Isn't that amazing how it hasn't changed in all of these years? And these ones are an oil lamp. The oil goes in the wick. That glass is amazing. So what they've just pointed out to me is just this Roman sign, and it just says that it's a Roman outpost. And what I can show you on this map just here is where Al-Hallabat is in relation to the rest of Jordan. So it's kind of to the north. Amman's about here. This is the Dead Sea. This is the area where Jesus was christened, the baptismal area. This currently is Palestine, and this is Israel, and this is the Jordanian border currently. This is Aqaba down the bottom. So you have Eilat, which is the Israeli city, just on this side, and then you have Aqaba, the Jordanian city, just on this same spot here on the Red Sea. So you can actually see how large this site was. Just amazing. And the area that we're actually looking at is this space just here, the Eastern Roman Empire. So this is the Suez Canal. Just amazing. This is Jordan just here. Once again, it's that tetrarch. There's that word again. So the four. They've also got another one here, quadriplegia, but it still means the four, under the governance of four. It's just, the symmetry is just amazing. Okay, so I've just finished at the antiquity called Al-Hallabat. The guide's name was Benna. He was the manager apparently, and it was quite an amazing experience. He gave us all that insight. The other interesting thing, of course, I had to go to the bathroom, and if you ever want to come to Jordan, first thing you pack is toilet paper. The second thing you pack is a really strong pair of quads, because you just cannot sit on a toilet here in this country. You just have to squat above it. Use the squats. It's just amazing. And the last thing the manager says is, "You'll miss me, you'll be back in 6 months." So we'll see how that turns out, because coming back would be just fantastic. I'm going to go and have some time with Ali in the car now. We've been laughing all morning. And so we'll just see how this day goes.